Though the Soviet Union and the United States did not engage in battle with each other, and though we never deployed nuclear weapons in battle, despite coming dangerously close to doing so, we were still able to achieve nuclear holocaust levels of destruction in numerous wars in the 20th century. Japan may have been firebombed and nuked, but over the course of the 3-year Korean War, the peninsula would be pummeled with 4 times the tonnage of bombs as was dropped on Japan, including the 2 atomic bombs, an amount roughly equivalent to all the explosives dropped in the entire Pacific theater. Indeed, despite never being nuked, Korea fared far worse than Japan, according to the US Air Force's own estimates. I would say that almost the entire Korean peninsula is just a terrible mess. Everything is destroyed. There is nothing standing worthy of the name. Veteran World War II General Curtis LeMay, head of the Strategic Air Command during the war, would admit, "We burned down just about every city in North and South Korea both. We killed off over 1 million civilian Koreans." In September of 1965, General William Westmoreland, commander of the entire military mission in Vietnam, issued MAC-V Directive No. 525-3. The directive, titled Combat Operations Minimizing Non-Combatant Battle Casualties, was the beginning of the so-called Free Strike Zone. Free strike zones should be configured to eliminate populated areas except those in accepted VC bases, VC as in Viet Cong. A month later, the directive was expanded on further. Except for accepted VC war zones and base areas, free strike zones are being reconfigured to eliminate populated areas. In free strike zones, in the words of infantryman Robert J. Graham, everyone, men, women, children, could be considered the enemy. You could not be held responsible for firing on innocent civilians since by definition there were none there. In 1964, Defense Secretary Robert McNamara produced figures on territory under Viet Cong control or predominant influence, and according to him, 22 of the 43 provinces of South Vietnam were open to unlimited aerial assault. But, as declassified State Department papers explained, the destruction of course didn't end there. Saturation bombing by artillery and airstrikes, for example, is an accepted tactic, and there is probably no province where this tactic has not been widely employed. The neighboring country of Laos would comprise its own free fire zone, where during the course of the war in Vietnam, the US military would drop more bombs than were dropped on Japan and also Germany during all of World War II. Jet planes came daily and destroyed all stationary structures. Nothing was left standing. The villagers lived in trenches and holes or in caves. It wasn't until 2004 that the National Archives released a trove of transcripts of voice recordings known as the Kissinger tapes. Embedded in the pages was a phone call from 1969. Kissinger relays an order from President Nixon. A massive bombing campaign in Cambodia. Anything that flies on anything that moves.